Hey, look, riddle me this, riddle me black, and the culture court. Shout outs to Will. He's out here doing his thing, man, getting his entrepreneur grind on. So follow him. 40 acres of cool. I'm gonna put the info on the screen.
Hey, what's happening, man? It's your boy Dion checking in. Welcome you to the buffet. One thing about it, two things for sure. You're going to get good conversation and good motivation.
Just remember, sometimes to get lost is to learn the way, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay, man. Everything will work itself out. You know what I mean? Like, if you really believe you're going to be all right in the long run, man, everything will be all right. You know what I mean? Like, just keep trying. Keep doing what you're going to do, man. You'll figure it out, man. What they say, sometimes you find your destiny trying to avoid it, man. Like, everything will be all right, bro. Keep breathing and keep going, bro. Like, it's okay, man. You know, it's okay. That's all I gotta say, man.
Yo, welcome everybody to the buffet. It's your boy, your favorite homie, Will.
So when Dominique made a point that, it wasn't the vice president that made him want to go to HBCU, he already graduated from one. I'll go around the horn and ask each and every one of you, what was it that made you, one, what made you go to an HBCU? And two, why did you choose the one that you did? We'll kick it off with Marcus first. I don't think he's had a chance to get his shine yet. He's kind of been asking questions and polling the audience. So we're going to let Marcus kick this one off.
Oh, man. When it comes down, I went to A&T because of the drummer. It's straight out. Like I played drums in high school. So my motivation to get to college was to continue to play drums. I was a hard-headed kid, so I didn't really care about my grades until late. But that's the reason why I went to A&T. I need to get on the drum line. And to be honest with you, it wasn't even about so I guess this could be a little story I could share that I went to an all-black high school from where I'm from, and I don't remember too much conversation happening around going to an HBCU. I remember a lot of conversation happening around going to college, but in regards to South Carolina, where I'm from, there was no real conversation about, hey, everybody in here needs to go to South Carolina State, or everybody in here needs to go to Claflin University, or Benedict College, or Allen University, and those are all HBCUs in South Carolina, by the way. Like none of that ever took place. It was just get to college. It just so happened that the drumline that I wanted to be a part of was an HBCU. So I guess I lucked up in that regards. But when I think about the reason why I went to an HBCU, it wasn't because I was trying to go to an HBCU, if that makes any sense.
All right. Okay. Hey, Will, what about you, man? What made you go to A&T?
All right, so as you guys know, I went to A&T, the illustrious North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. Honestly, y'all, man, I didn't know I was going to college. Like, I like Marcus or whatever, and probably a lot of us. Like, we went to a majority black high school. Now, I grew up in Durham, North Carolina. I was not one of the top academic students. So talking to a counselor, I couldn't tell you if I ever talked to a guidance counselor about going to college. Definitely didn't do no college tours. Only colleges I knew about were North Carolina Central, UNC, Chapel Hill, and Duke. And that's, like in the area. But I didn't know much about anything until my friends who were seniors, they graduated. Some of them went to college. So one of them went to A&T, another went to Winston, another went to ECU. And ECU just, that won't never a spot for me. Like, I know for a fact that I wasn't even thinking about going to a PWI. But when I chose to apply to A&T, it really was because I had no idea what I was doing with my life after high school. And in the A&T here, like how they say it's a party school and everything. Like, yeah, you're gonna have fun, but you won't really enjoy it with who you are. And my other homie who went to Winston, he was like, "Don't come here," because he was just like, "Bro, like I'm not feeling it." So the thing is, I even realize I had to Winston one. I got accepted. But I chose A&T really because it was the only school that interests me, that I was exposed to. Because I definitely wasn't going to Central. It's in my home city. I'm not gonna stay there. I knew I wouldn't have achieved anything. But then what I got from A&T, in all honesty, passion. Like for real, like I actually got motivation from something. And it was seeing the unity of us as Black people. You know, in high school or whatnot, like man, going to parties and being a part of groups, like that's cool and all, but that's teenage stuff. Like you growing into an adult and you see that people that you didn't know at all, you probably have no real history with, or even nothing in common with, but you all can come together and have a good time, or like have each other's back, support the same goals, same initiatives. To me, that's cool. That's dope. And who knows? I probably could have got it from somewhere else, but A&T just felt like family to me, and that's why I always will support it. Um, so I say passion, motivation, and love for unity, love for us. That's what I got from it.
Word. That's deep. That's deep. I rock with it. What about you, Zay? What made you go to Alabama? A&M.
You know what time it is. Alabama A&M. Since everybody want to start their conversation off with their school. Oh my goodness. Oh, I feel like I stepped in the wrong Aggie room right now. Ain't no.
Hey man, where's your backup at? Where's your backup? Where's your man's at? Where's Dion at?
Oh, that's how all the A&T graduates were so graceful in the description on why they went to an HBCU, but then we got this mother. They get up here all loud and
no.
You see, this is what happens. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen.
All you all are coming on here like
you people,
the amazing, the brilliant, the all this stuff, and we ain't going straight into the conversation. Every time y'all talk, here it is. I'm like, what adjective are you gonna use right now? I done heard it all. I'm like, man, they just gave y'all a list of vocabulary words and said, put it in front of A&T.
Exactly, because that's what they taught us. They taught us. That's what came with that degree. That's what came with that degree. Because we educated around here.
Well,
we educated around here. No, by the way, y'all.
I love it.
By the way, y'all, shout out to Dion. By the way, Dion commissioned. He became a second lieutenant in the United States Army. So he's out doing training. So kudos to him. He's out there doing big things. So that's why he's not on the call. Salute to Dion. But yeah,
salute.
Another HBCU graduate. He went to Alabama A&M. But yeah,
yeah, he did doing amazing things out here. You know,
doing great things.
Start here, go anywhere. That's what they said. That's what they told us. That's what they said. But for real though, I'm gonna be real straight up. My first choice wasn't A&M. It was Stillman actually, because I was exposed to Stillman first through the Upper Bound program, and like I remember, because y'all know I didn't know too much about college, and like just like Marcus, you know, the guidance counselor didn't come to me, so I had to find out myself, and I found out through the Upper Bound program, and that was me going to school on Saturdays. You know, going up there on Saturdays, and the Upper Bound program was on Stillman College campus, so that to me was like it opened my mind because I wasn't really exposed to it. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't exposed to all the other options outside of Utah. So I didn't know too much about it. I only knew Tuscaloosa and Utah. That's it. But so when I did Stillman, when I did the Upper Bound program, I was like, okay, Stillman, I'm actually seeing college students, you know, go to class on Saturdays. First of all, that was the number one lesson. I'm not attending classes on Saturday. But yeah, and it just opened my mind to like see the students and everything else, you know, go there. And then when I graduated, I had 3 choices. And one of them was Stillman, One on was Alabama State, and the other one was A&M. So I had those three. Oh, and then I had oh my goodness, I think it was either it was FAMU. I had that one too.
And Scam you.
And they sent me like all their music and everything else. And then I looked at that cost for it, and I was like, I don't know. I ain't know nothing about loans or any of that.
Yeah,
And I looked at the cost, and I was like, man, that's pretty expensive. And even for Stillman, when I looked at it, it was like, man, that's pretty expensive, because they're a private school, whatever. And then I narrowed it down to Alabama State and Alabama A&M, and I noticed that Alabama State didn't have a engineering program, and I wanted to be in the band, and I was like, you know what, A&M is my choice. Because and then my cousin, he was up here, so I took a trip up here, and he showed me around campus and everything else, and I was like, man, this is pretty dope. And then I found out personally why they call it the hill. You got to climb it. Mm-hmm. So A&M became my choice, and I got in the band, loved every second of it. It taught me a whole lot of lessons, and most definitely, I found out that I am a workout guru from the band, because I love to work out and everything, run and all that stuff. I would rather run than to stand in place all day. That was my thing. When the band director said call the band to attention, I would move on purposely just so I could run.
Yes. Yes.
Boy, you sound like you was in the drum line, boy. You was negligent in the mother.
Man.
Yes.
That's the shit we do.
I used to get my section leader in trouble for no reason. They'd be like, who told you to run? My section leader. Him over there. And he'd be like, what? He was like, I'll take his lap. Don't worry about it. 'Cause, that's what I did. And then I got into the engineering program. I started off, I ain't started off so good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wasn't at the top of my game in my academics. And then I gradually came more attracted to band and started being attracted to more of my education, because I was like, man, I can't be in band, for the rest of my life. And so I started concentrating more on my grades and everything. And it was after, it was really after one of the teachers came to me. He was a Black engineer and engineering teacher. He was, at that time, he was the only Black engineer there. Mm. And he came to me, and one summer, I'd never forget him. His name is Professor Massey. And he came to me, he said, Mr. Peoples, he stopped me in the hallway on the third floor of the engineering floor. He stopped me in the hallway carrying his book. I still remember it to this day. He said to me, Mr. Peoples, he said, if you're gonna play with my class, go home. He was like, you got the potential, but you need to go home, because you ain't studying, you ain't doing anything else like that, like you need to do. So if you're not gonna be the engineer, just go home and stop wasting your money and my time. And from that day on, I feel like at that point, a switch turned on in my head, and I became so serious about my work and everything else. And like people say, their greatest moment was when they walked across stage. My greatest moment in college was when that same professor came to me in my senior design project when I got done presenting with my team. He said, I see somebody ready to be an engineer now. Mm-hmm. And that to me weighs a whole lot more than that degree, because that point, it felt like he was looking at me and telling me I could be more. And I feel like you don't get that everywhere else but a HBCU. He was on some real Hillman different world type stuff, where all the other professors was like, hey, you gotta just get it how you live. You know, they really didn't really care for me. Everybody didn't really notice me until my senior design project, and they saw how I was briefing them and everything else. That's when I became like, oh, send Al Xavier to Tuskegee and tell him to present this and all this stuff. That's when I really became like, I guess that's when Motivational Zay was unofficially born. But yeah, but I feel like you don't in like I remember in Upper Bound, Mr. Freeman was his name. He always preached to us about options, and he's always said, "Don't be a little fish in a big pond. Be the big fish in a small pond." And that's what he was saying was, don't go to nowhere where you're not gonna get the attention that you needed. Go to a HBCU where you're gonna be the big fish in a small pond, and you're gonna be in a room with maybe 15 to 20 people, and y'all all know each other, and the teacher and you got that one-on-one communication going on. And I felt like you can't do that with everywhere else. So I definitely learned that, you know, HBCUs really teach you how to grind for real after life. You know, they teach you how all the fundamentals of things. Because a lot of people, I hate when people come in interviews or whatever and they say, "Oh, my school didn't teach me that." Okay, don't blame your school for that. when you got all these YouTubes, videos out here, you got Google out here. You can learn that from anywhere. Don't down no HBCU because you don't know it, and don't point the blame. You can learn anything that they put out. If you say this instead, if somebody say that, do you know this? No, but I can learn. I can go learn. It won't take me long. Don't. I have been in interviews. I have heard stories about people saying A&M didn't teach me that. And that just looks bad on the school, you know? And that I'm like, no, don't say that. So, but back to the question, you know, that's why I just love my HBCU, because it taught me and it built me to who I am today. It helped develop me in a way where I can be a follower and a leader at the same time. I can go into a room and don't have to demand the attention. I get it automatically because of who I am. I'm a sharp guy in all those type of areas, and I don't say anything that's not gonna hold some weight to it in a meeting. Everybody is interested into what I got to say, and I stick up for myself, because you know, going through HBCU, it's gonna be some times where you got to learn some toughness about yourself. I say that, and you don't get that from everywhere else. It had been plenty of times where, and I know I'm going off into another subject, but it's been plenty of times where somebody that went to PWI put them against a HBCU student. They might can have the book knowledge, but if you want a person that's very versatile in book and speaking and this and that, you get that HBCU person, and I guarantee you'll see the change in your atmosphere at that point.
Absolutely. No, that was a great way to end it. Absolutely.
Y'all like the way I brought it around like that?
No, that was beautiful. No, seriously, that was beautiful. Because like, I'll get into it when it's my turn to speak. Damo the Dime, what made you want to go to HBCU, man? My man.
There you go. Is that it? Did it work?
Yeah. It's perfect, my brother. It's perfect, my brother.
You just sit there. You just sit there.
We didn't use any adjectives, right?
You can sit there.
Sit there. You had your moment.
Again, this is not a sponsored. You know what I'm saying? But I paid all that money for it. I'm gonna use it however I want. I don't care what they say. Why'd I go to NT? So I mean, like y'all, man, I was in a band in high school. So obviously I went to a mostly black school, mostly black band. You're gonna look at black bands. So I'm from Virginia. They got Hampton University, Norfolk State, Virginia State, etc. But somebody that I kind of looked up to went to A&T. He was in a band. He was a drum major at A&T, and that's what really turned my focus to A&T. You know what I'm saying? So, like other people said on this phone, I was not exactly an exceptional student. If you ask my high school teachers, they wouldn't even believe that y'all talking to the same person right now. You know what I mean? I had no focus on school.
Preach, brother.
I was one of the people that I flipped to the end of the chapter, read the vocabulary. That's the extent of my study, and I can get a C with that. Easy.
Yeah.
I can guess through the Scantron if I just read the vocabulary in the summary one time. I'm not reading nothing. You know what I mean? So, I graduated. I didn't go straight to college, bro. I went to Kmart. You know what I mean? Like, and then I was like, man, I got to do something. You know what I mean? And I applied to A&T, and I hate to use the word vibe because people done played it out, but when I got there, man, I just felt it. Like, this is where I'm going. You know, I had been on a bunch of campuses, bro. I got two older brothers. You know, I had been to Virginia Tech and Virginia Commonwealth, and like I said, Norfolk State, Hampton University. I've been a bunch of places, man. I've been on Morehouse campus, but when I got to A&T, it's like, other than the bill, I knew I was gonna go there. I ain't have no. I felt at peace. You know what I'm saying? So when I went there, I feel like what I was able to do there, just based on my academic history and stuff like that, I don't think I would have accomplished other places because I just felt more comfortable in that environment, man. I really did. So the other schools probably wouldn't have took me. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't know why A&T let me. Be honest with you, like
They understood your potential, brother.
Based off my history, there was nothing saying, yo, he's gonna graduate and be, you know what I mean? Maybe they just wanted the money, bro, because like I was not that guy, man. High school, I didn't even have above a 3.0, bro. Like, I was skipping class. Once I started driving, that was it. Like, I'm out of here. I was working and driving. I wasn't even thinking about school, but they gave me a second chance, bro. And I ran with it. And, you know, I don't think I would have got that second chance going to certain places.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like schools like that are designed to kind of catch that little gap, man. Because we come from communities where everybody on this phone, on this call pretty much just said that wasn't necessarily the push or the focus, bro. But that doesn't mean we weren't capable because everybody on this call graduated. So sometimes I think HBCUs is like, I don't want to say a safety net, but it's people with potential that they just need a chance, bro. You go through high school and then senior year, like I remember that feeling. Everybody like, I'm going here, I'm going there, and I'm just looking like I ain't have no kind of plan or nothing, bro. And it's like, that doesn't mean that I was dumb or anything. It's just for them 4 years, I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean I can't do the work at the next level. And they gave me an opportunity to do that. And I think HBCUs, they're so important, bro. Not to say that I'm like the low-hanging fruit, but like, you know what I'm saying? We need them, yo. Yeah. I don't care how run down they are. Like, we need them, bro. Because there's a lot of people that go to high school and crash. And that they could be screwed for life if they don't get that second opportunity, man. You know? Like, bro, I don't even know how I did it. Like, I never cared. I didn't care about school or none of that. Like, y'all was talking about the band. Y'all wouldn't even think about school. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would we have been? That's not to say we couldn't have done anything else. I'm just saying if we hadn't got like that second chance to kind of get us there, like, we are productive citizens of society, bro. So, you know what I mean? Like, A&T helped me, man. It costs, but yeah, I mean,
pay for that help.
You know, really did. You know what I mean? Maybe it was overpriced. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. I'm not the most well-spoken. I'm not the most, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have been able to, somebody else probably would have sifted me out, man. But they were like, let's give him a chance. And that's all some things that people need is a second chance. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And we all did it. So, and we still all cool and chilling. Like, ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, man, absolutely. It's important, bro.
One thing you hit on that I want to highlight for sure is that second chance. Like, let's think about it. The same way you're saying HBCUs gave a lot of folks that second chance, Let's be real. Back in the day, HBCUs gave people that first chance. The reason why, thank you, that gave them their only chance because the other institutions weren't trying to have us. They really weren't. So it bothers me. This is gonna be a rabbit hole I go down before I go into my spiel. It bothers me when students that attend PWIs try to downplay HBCUs, like, oh, well, their curriculum is easier, or this, that, and the third. Yo, once upon a time, you couldn't even step foot in that institution that you're trying to claim is better than HBCUs. You know, so let's humble ourselves for a second and be like, look, these HBCUs actually paved the way so you could go to that PWI if we want to be technical, if we want to go there. You know, in 2021, I'm choosing violence. So anybody who went to a PWI that wants to pop off, you know, we can go there. We can go there, but
because you gotta realize I'm sitting across the desk from the same person. They making that argument, but we got the same job. So what difference does it make?
It make. Yes.
Right. That's why I was saying, man. Like just because you graduated from Alabama, Auburn, whatever have you, that don't mean that I can't be your equal.
Yeah. It's just another way to describe black people, bro. Like, yo, we sitting here with the same jobs and you complain. Yeah, we arguing about how we got here. Like,
yeah, exactly. Can we just congratulate one another? Like, you that
Thank
man, because you spent all that money, but I'm sitting right across from you, and you know, I'm able to talk and people listen. When you talk, they turn their heads, you know. It just, to me, it just amazes me, like how some people, I don't know if Mike gonna let me say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. How people be like, they have the house mentality. Like where they feel like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said it like that. The house, well, I don't know how else to say it.
the house slave, the field slave.
But it's like they want to see you below them at all times, and they don't never want you to go above them. Like it's been times in my career where it's always been like a black woman or a black man have stood in my way of my next step up or something like that, and I'm like, you supposed to help me. You older than me. And yet they'll be saying, "Oh, you got to get it the way I got it." Why?
I'll say this, and this may be wrong on my part, but I've had that too. I'm sure we all have had that before. But my gripe has come from those black people who stand in my way that didn't go to an HBCU. Like they went to a PWI and they was like trying their best to hold me back. And like I so bad want to say, like, we black, man, we supposed to be looking out for each other. But then in the back of my mind, I'll be like, nah, I can't say that because you ain't go to no HBCU. Like, I can't say that to you. It don't mean the same thing to you that we both black, you know, and that could be wrong on my part. Like, you know, that's just one of those opportunities within myself that I have to admit to. But that stuff right there, that pisses me off something serious, man. Like it should be just because we're black that we should want to support each other or whatever. But it's something about those black people that I don't know. I think I'm about to say something improper. I'm trying to watch my words, so I think I'm gonna just leave it at that.
All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
There you go.
All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Because to me, I have the mentality of, you know, I don't do the crabs in the bucket. I try to, you know, be a ladder to somebody, like set up a ladder for somebody else to make it. Because I know for me, like,
be a rung on the ladder. I like that.
Yeah, pass the baton. I hear you.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have to make sure that we take care of the next generation. You know, I might not be the one. I might not be the one that goes all the way up to be the next trillionaire. I you know, but you could help somebody else to get up there. And like that's what I really feel like some people just don't get that. They want to make you work as hard as they can. Bruh, Dr. Martin Luther King didn't do that. He didn't say, oh, well, I'm gonna go fight, but they gotta fight for their own too.
They're gonna keep that in everybody's school though.
Yeah, and I just it just don't make any sense to me how we just so I got to be the best. I got to be over you. I got to be, you can't be on my same level and all that kind of stuff. I'd be like, let that go, man.
Being the
it's just succeed. And like, oh my goodness. Like I said, house mentality. Like, I can't let you in the house because master get mad at me.
That's facts.
Man, but when the mugs from UNCG want to come to our homecoming, we let them right on in. We give them a plate and everything.
Right on in. Come on,
bro. That's a whole no. Whoa. This is deeper than I gotta put the football down.
Well,
this is deeper than just PWI and HBCUs.
That was the analogy I wanted to use.
Bro, that just are people as a whole. Like, yo, we always roll out the red carpet, or more. We embrace people, the outsiders, more so than others do for us. Like, for example, this is going to stir some stuff up, but I don't care. We choosing violence all 2021. So this whole stop Asian violence thing, right? Guess who you see promoting that junk? Black people. Where the Asians at during the whole Black Lives Matter thing, during the whole support for George Floyd? Anytime there's any kind of injustice towards Blacks, where's the Asian support? Now, I'm not saying they don't, but I will say is I'm not seeing it. So if y'all see it, correct me. But we don't see it.
So I just got off of social media maybe like a couple of hours ago, and I was seeing that, and it's not going to be a common or it's not large scale, right? What I'm about to say, but I have seen it. I just got off of social media not too long ago, where you can tell how long ago something was by the quality of this picture, right? So I was looking at like a black and white photo of these little Asians holding up picket signs saying Black power to Black people and Asian power to Asian people. They were basically in support. And I can't sit here and tell you what event they were at or where they were, but basically the post on social media was just going down how throughout the years Asians have supported Black people. So just like you asked, Mike, you want to know where they are. I would like to know where they are as well, but it does seem that it's there, and I don't think it's on a small scale. It might not be on a large scale, but I do see it, and it might be. Now it sucks because it may be one of those things where you have to research to find it, right? Whereas in like when you talk about police brutality to Black people and killing of Black people, you don't have to research that. That's right smack dead in your face. But then again, when you talk about the good, sometimes the media doesn't want to portray that good. So it may be a reason why we don't see those Asians who are in support of the Black people. So it very well could be on a large scale, but how the media controls everything. They make sure that what they want the population to see is the negative and not the positive. So so that calls for research, right? That calls for the deep dive to see, where are the Asian people who are supporting Black people? Is it on a large scale? Is it on a lower scale? Are they there at all? Is the media portraying what we want to see, or is the media doing what they always do and giving us that bullshit? So that's up. I would like to say what you just brought up is up for debate. I'm not trying to say what you're saying is not true or holds no weight, but I think we might want to look into that. That's something that we may need to see, because we very well may have that Asian support and we just don't know. You know what I mean?
That's real. And that's real. And I'm glad you said that, because there's always, it's a perspective. It's not a right or wrong thing. It's a perspective thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing it, but it may be there.
And understand that I just saw that today. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to say like, I didn't see this throughout the whole week. Nah, it was just a couple of hours ago for the first time ever.
Now, so all right. One thing that Mike said, he was like, when like we it's a culture thing that we put ourselves out there for others and whatnot. I want to say it was Mike. I feel as if we are, as a culture, we're very empathetic towards others because we know how it feels. We know, like, our community knows how it feels. And this can even possibly go back to HBCUs, PWI type thing. Like, us as individuals who went to HBCUs, we know what it feels like to be like, man, we ain't got enough money to go back to school sometimes. We gotta work after we go to class. We gotta do this, we gotta do that, or whatever. Or we've seen it. Whereas sometimes, someone at a PWI, they may they got the name, so they get their foot in the door a lot quicker than we can. So when that same black person went to that PWI, may not be empathetic towards the struggles that we went through going to HBCU. Now, when I say like that's on like it can kind of relate. Now the whole stop Asian hate thing. I mean I with it. I think that it's one of those things. It's like like cool, like yeah, but to me it's not even that. It's like get these white folks or whatever, like get them, like because for us. To me, I do agree with Mike on the fact that we sit here and we're out in the street. We can be out in the street protesting silently and everything. But throughout history, nothing ever works until another culture gets involved and then brutality happens. Let's be real. Martin Luther King, he is great. He got all the philosophies in the world. He marched silently, nonviolent. Until Bloody Sunday happened, and all them people saw that black folks was getting their ass whooped or whatever in the middle of the street for just walking, it didn't cause no uproar. Like people weren't really out there trying to be like, oh, we support it. Like we support y'all message, but I don't know if we want to put ourselves on the line for it. And then the same thing happened this time. George Floyd wasn't the first one. But after that, everybody's in the street with us. So now, everyone's feeling empathetic because they see it. We live it every day. And because now, and this isn't the first time where we've seen Asian hate, but we've seen it when it comes to Muslims. We see it when it comes to Asians. We see it when it comes to Hispanics. But it's because we know what it feels like. That we're empathetic towards everybody, where we say, hey, come to the cookout. Like, you a homie or whatever. Because we can relate in some stance. But when it let's be honest here. The reason why I think it's hard for us to say, hey, where were Asians at? Like the Asians have always been on our side, or another culture of some sort have always been on our side, because at a point they were always looked at as more favorable than us. I mean, you can go back to easily the 92 race riots. Not race riots, 92 LA riots or whatever. Yes, we know that it came from Rodney King and those white officers getting off, but Latasha Harlins had something to do with that, and the Korean shop owner popping her in the head for supposedly stealing juice or whatever. But another reason why that's a big issue is because they came into black neighborhoods and bought up spaces. Why did they buy those spaces? Because the white owners would not sell to black people, because they didn't want black people owning those spaces. So you can look at Asians, you'll say they are seen as more favorable compared to us in a sense. Therefore, they don't want to step on the toes of the ones that they know that are in control over here. A lot of them are goal oriented. I used to teach a kid who was Asian descent. His parents were just like, he needs to get here. He needs to get here. I don't care how you get it done. He needs to get here because he needs to be seen as a top prospect. Point blank period. This boy is in second grade. Second grade? What is he? He doesn't have to be like that, but I get it and everything. But we are a very empathetic culture. We put ourselves out there to be maimed, tortured, killed, because we do not agree with what oppressors do, period. I think that's the biggest thing that comes from this. It's not even, let's do some research on it. It's just that we don't agree with oppressing people, period. Even if they look like us, we not for it. So I think that is the thing that when we go back to why we're like this, it's because of that.
That was a very thorough and well-spoken breakdown that you just did, Will. I appreciate that wholeheartedly. I will
That's
say
what A&T does for you.
You gotta talk to them. Talk to these people. Talk to this man. I'm throwing shots.
I was just about to say, man, I was proud of you. You didn't start it out with the illustrious or you ain't started off with no adjective. Oh my goodness! And then
jump right into it.
You just went right into it.
I had to. Come on now.
Okay.
I had
It's
to.
all right.
Oh,
See.
Mike,
Y'all
you ain't
see.
talking about why you went to A&T, bro. Like we did all that talking. You ain't talking about why you went to A&T.
Exactly. He got it. He got it. He does have to go back to that.
His dialogue spoke for itself. You know what I mean? Like, the greatness, man. You know?
Pop Snuckles.
Pop.
You already. No, I'm just playing. No, on a super serious note, the reason I went to an HBCU, specifically North Carolina A&T State University, man, I had to finish where I started, man. So my parents met at A&T. They were both students there. They both had jobs there. My dad had work study job. My mom worked there. That's how they actually met. When I was born in one state. We moved to North Carolina. My mom still had her job at A&T. So I went to the preschool academy that was not necessarily academy, but I went to the preschool that was behind Price Hall. So my education literally started on the campus of North Carolina A&T. It's in my DNA, man. I got royalty and loyalty inside my DNA, so that's what it is. After I moved from North Carolina to Alabama, the whole time I was in Alabama, it never felt like home for real. I got some friends there. I got some real ride or die people that I rocks with, but the area itself never felt like home to me. So from the time I got there to the time I left, honor day, whatever, I knew, hey, I'm getting out of here. I knew I was going to an HBCU. I grew up and went to a school that was majority white. It was rare. There was plenty of times where I was the only black face in the room. There's a lot of situations where I'm the only black this, the only black that. So that feeling I'm kind of used to. I still don't like it, but I'm I'm used to that feeling of being quote unquote the only black. Honor Day came around. This is one of the turning points. So even before Honor Day, when I was in 8th grade, 9th grade time frame, I just got sick and tired of that environment. I got sick and tired of that majority white environment, going to school there. I was just mad at a lot of things. I was very pissed off. Music was my therapy. Playing the drums, like Marcus, like majority of the people in the buffet. I was in the band. I played the drums. Music was my therapy. I started making beats when I was in middle school. My thing was, if it takes making these beats to get me out of this environment, I will do that. Like I will quit school right now and be the next Swiss Beats, Just Blaze, Ninth Wonder, Jay Dilla, whatever it took to get me out of that environment, I was going to do that legally. Didn't care about school in 9th grade, went to summer school. And around that time, once my parents saw I was going in that direction, my dad got me involved with a bunch of programs that he's involved, because my dad's an alpha. He's part of that go to high school, go to college programs like that. He got me involved in summer programs. It was the Alpha Leadership. Matter of fact, we volunteered at it actually. Will, Marcus, we volunteered at it, the Alpha Leadership Conference. I got involved with that. The first one I went to was, I want to say, at Clark, Atlanta. The first one I went to was at Clark, Atlanta. The second one was at Georgia Tech. And after just being on the campus of Clark, Atlanta, seeing the AU and doing college tours and stuff like that with the Alpha brothers, that's what made me be like, all right, let me get my life there. Let me get back on track. I went from not caring about school to ending making National Honor Society, graduating with a 3.4 GPA, things like that. So I'm not saying that to flex. I'm saying that if it wasn't for the influence of the Alpha brothers that pulled me to the side and said, hey, this is what you could do. This is where you can go. This is the environment you could be in, getting me out of that predominantly white environment and showing me, hey, these are the HBCUs and things like that. And mind you, my parents, we were going to A&T homecomings periodically throughout my time in school. So I want to say in 2002, 2003, went to that homecoming, went to another homecoming later on. I can't remember the year. But the nail in the coffin, I shouldn't say nail in the coffin, what made my final decision was when I sent out applications where I was applying at different schools. It was North Carolina A&T State University, Morehouse, Howard, Miami University, and Tennessee. The last two just to say, hey, I got accepted. Yes, I can do what you did, but you can't do what I can do. That was literally the only reason why I applied at the predominantly white schools. Once that happened, A&T awarded me with the Louis C. Dottie Scholarship, and that's when I knew I was going to be an Aggie. I had a cousin that actually worked at Morehouse, so I was this close to going to Morehouse because I was thinking, hey, I'll go be with my cousin. I look up to him. I grew up. He was one of my idols. things he was doing, his aura, the way he was moving. I was like, yeah, I want to move like that. What better place to do that than Morehouse, right? And Morehouse has a very prestigious history and whatnot. So finally, once A&T hit me, sent that letter saying, hey, congratulations, you're awarded the scholarship. That's when I knew. And that was my junior year. That was like, hey, look, I'm officially an Aggie. At this point from here on, here for it, y'all, I'm an Aggie. I don't care what happens. Senior year, I was actually content with not playing in the band. I was done playing the drums and all that. I was ready to give that up and just solely focus on my academics and making beats and things of that nature. So got to A&T, did a tour before Honor Day. Saw people like Marcus on the drum line doing all kinds of tricks and stuff that we didn't do at my white school. So I was like, yo, I want to learn how to do that. That's cool. That was yeah, Cole, shout out to Cold Steel Drumline. They put on a great exhibition when I went. So I was like, yeah, I want to learn how to do that. So that's when I knew I was going to join the band once I got to A&T. At Honor Day, this is the part that pissed me off. At Honor Day, now mind you, I'm talking with the guidance counselors and I'm telling them like, hey, look, I want to go to North Carolina A&T State University. So what paperwork, this, that, and the third, what ACT score? Hey, you got to take the SAT. All right, cool, I'll take the SAT. We did all this work for me to get to North Carolina A&T. On Honor Day, the guidance counselor was like, yeah, so Michael's going to some college in North Carolina. I'm like, really? You memorize all these people, where they going to school, and all of a sudden we get to an HBCU. It's just some college in North Carolina. Y'all, that's how y'all feel? Word? So it's stuff like that where if it wasn't for the Alpha Brothers in the community showing me that these HBCUs existed, these counselors weren't caring about any North Carolina A&T State University. They were caring about University of North Alabama, Northwest Shoals Community College, Auburn, Alabama, stuff like that. So it's like, no, like, long story short, y'all, and the best way to find out about those kind of things, you have to do your research and you have to experience it for yourself because nobody's going to hand it to you on a silver platter. You got to go and find that stuff out on your own. So rewind. So back to that trip when I saw Cold Steel play, I also found out about this graphic communications degree. They had this thing called integrated internet. Originally, I was going to go to school for business because I wanted to figure out, all right, I can make beats. How can I market that? How can I market my talent? So that was the reason what I wanted to do. As soon as I got done with that visit, I met with Dr. Thompson. That was her name. She was the dean at the time. Dr. Thompson, met with her. She told me about graphic communications, integrated internet. She told me about, I'd be dealing with the Adobe Suite, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, things like that, which was another one of my passions, making videos and editing videos, things like that. And that's when I knew, hey, this is where A&T just felt like home. Everything I wanted to do was right there, whether it was music, whether it was graphic design, the women, the atmosphere, the everything. Right, A&T felt like home. And then on top of that, my parents went there. So it's like, yo, what better way? And on top of that, I started there. So what better way to bring this thing full circle than to go to North Carolina A&T State University? And so that's pretty much, I knew from day one. I was so passionate and ready to get out of that environment. Do I still have love for my people in Alabama? Absolutely. I rocks with y'all. But that environment was just not for me. I needed to be around my people. I needed to feel like I was at home. I needed to go to Wakanda. That's just what it was. And so that's how I ended up at an HBCU. That's how I ended up at North Carolina A&T State University.
Almost hit him with the illustrious.
Yeah,
I saw it. I saw it.
He really did.
Hey,
You know how I do. First of all, make sure to be a rung on the ladder for the next person. Find the correct school for you. Go somewhere. And then when you step on that campus, we hope that is the place where you need to be. Be ready to pass something down onto your children that expresses your experience from your HBCU. And as always, continue to be a brother unified for freedom, evolving together.
There it is. My man.